What's going on, everybody? This is Mattdoesfitness, and a duck goes into a shop and asks for some lip balm. The shopkeeper goes, "That'll be £1 please." The duck goes, "Put it on my bill." Hello and welcome to another road to the British Champs. I say another road, it's kind of the same road. The whole concept is it's a continuous road. So actually I should say, hello and welcome to the road to the British Champs. Otherwise that implies that I'm like just skipping from road to road, which obviously is fairly impractical. Although that said, I've been on many a journey where you obviously go on different roads. So perhaps I could just continue saying that. We'll see. Anyway, training wise, it's been kind of so-so. It's been okay, you know, nothing spectacular, solid enough. You know, if you watch my bulking and bodybuilding video from earlier in the week, kind of echo the same thing. Like, it's been okay, but nothing incredible. The biggest issue I've had has been the heat. Like, it's been really, really hot. I said it in that other video. The deadlifts are fine, but the room where I bench and squat in particular is really, really hot. So squatting is pretty hardcore. Like, I've introduced some sets of 10, and doing those, like, I was perspiring to the max. If there was a World Championships in perspiring, I would just transfer straight over to that because, yeah, it's been sweaty. But it's been okay, it's been okay. I mean, I've changed some things around. I'm kind of experimenting for a few weeks with some changes. So the first thing I've done is that I've introduced some more squat sessions, so some more variations. So I've done, you'll see in a minute, but I did 3 sets of 10 and also some singles, some heavy singles. So I'm gonna try like one heavy session, one slightly lighter session to see if that kind of helps with a bit of CNS recovery, and it also helps my deadlift as well, because so I'm not doing essentially 3 heavy sessions a week. And I've also trialing dropping one of the bench press sessions. So instead of benching 3 times a week, missing out the middle one and just benching twice a week, so Tuesday and Saturday. Again, just kind of experimenting with it to see if that works. Because I think what I found is that I've been doing the same thing for quite a while, and initially it was working really well, and now I'm kind of thinking that, you know, it was working then, so it should work now, but it's not always the case. You know, obviously you evolve as a person. As your training age increases, you get used to different things, different stimulus works for you, whatever. So I'm going to try something different. It might not work, it might work fantastically. We shall see. I just think it's important in training in general to mix things up. The worst thing you can do is just keep doing the same thing over and over again, because you are asking for a plateau. You will almost certainly stagnate. But yeah, it's been solid enough. Bench press has been fairly decent. I'm trying the nice long pauses. I say long, just, you know, sensible pauses, just so I get used to that competition feeling where the bar is on your chest for a relatively long period of time. Yeah, like I said, squats has been okay. I quite like. I say I quite like the more rep sessions. I don't like them, they suck, but it's quite nice, the feeling of just doing more. It's almost more bodybuilding stuff, you know, just trying to get a bit more kind of leg and quad, hamstring, glute engagement, a bit more kind of hypertrophy there, which I'm sure long term is going to help. And deadlifts, yeah, been decent. Like, I wanted to get a couple more full sets in there, but went fairly heavy. It was a PR for sets and reps, so again, I'm happy with that. And I appear to be giving away the entire video, which I don't want to do, because otherwise that would render the next part irrelevant. So I will leave it there, and all I will say is to watch the following clip. There's really only one thing you can do, and that is as follows. Become a scientist. Invent some kind of human vaporizer whereby you can turn yourself into smoke like a kind of a vaporized representation of yourself. Buy a lamp, like an old style lamp, preferably before you vaporize yourself, otherwise you probably won't get served by any lamp salesman or any reputable lamp salesman. And then obviously put yourself into the lamp, leave yourself on the side, again put the lamp in a good spot before you climb into the lamp, or kind of float into the lamp, and then just wait for someone to rub the lamp, come out, say you're going to grant them 3 wishes, and while they're thinking of the wishes, just obviously run away and watch the video. And we're rolling. So this is week 2 of the kind of integration of the changes that I've been making, kind of doing it like slowly. I don't want to kind of change everything straight away, but I'm just kind of making a few little changes here and there just to keep things fresh. So this was Monday, this was my squat session, and it was 5 singles at 230 kilograms, 507 pounds. So what I thought I'd do, this is another example of that, is just changing my squat sessions around. So as opposed to always doing 5 sets of 5 and always doing 5 sets of 3, just integrate a couple of different options so that I have that kind of flexibility, so I'm not always doing the same thing. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing some singles. I figure that obviously here it's going to, arguably this is the most specific session you're going to do as a powerlifter, because obviously you are testing singles. You are developing your ability to lift a weight, once, and a heavy weight at that. So this should, in theory, be a really, really important kind of integral part of your schedule. And I haven't really done singles for a while, so I figured I'd kind of keep them in. And it was pretty decent. It's kind of strange. Like, I haven't lifted that heavy a weight in training for a long time, so it was a bit of a shock, and the weight was kind of moving slowly, but it was kind of moving slowly in a good way. Like, every time I unracked it, I knew I had it. Every time I went down, I knew I had it. It just kind of took me a while to kind of finish the rep. Actually, I think it was my second rep I actually hit. The second of the 5 singles, I actually hit it really nicely. The rest of it was just a bit of a grind, but it felt good. I knew I had it, and that was that. So accessory work wise, I did some front squats, 3 sets of 5 at 130 kilograms, 287 pounds. It felt okay. It was quite funny because this is like obviously 100 kilogram drop from what I'd just been doing, and it actually moved fairly slowly. Like, you would kind of think it should be flying up and not no hesitation at all, but actually it was moving quite slowly, obviously because it is front squats and not back squat. And plus, what I have found is doing the singles and doubles and stuff, my nervous system is absolutely fried. So when it gets to the accessory work, I literally have nothing left. Anyway, this is Tuesday, so my bench press session, and it was 132.5 kilos, 292 pounds for 4 sets of 5. Again, working on a nice long pause, and it worked pretty well, felt pretty good. Pauses are coming along nicely. I am just trying to get that really kind of long pause grooved in. And I say that, and it appears this is not a pause session, this is actually touch and go. So disregard everything I just said. This is just a touch and go session. I always struggle with these. Like, I know technically touch and go is stronger than a pause, because obviously you've got that kind of stretch reflex and you can essentially bounce it off your chest. I just really, really hate it. I feel really uncomfortable. I always feel like my timing's out. Like, I like to, when I pause it on my chest, I can get the leg drive and everything in synchronization. When I touch and go, I feel like I'm driving out of time, and it just feels really kind of ugly, and all my reps are kind of misgrooved. But I think it is important to combine touch and go and pause reps, because when I've done it in the past, my bench always kind of benefits. So I got all 4 sets, no kind of major issues there. And that was that. So on to the next one. Wednesday. This is, as you all know, my deadlift day. And I ramped it up a bit from last week. Last week was obviously the first session back after the competition, and it was only a few days after that, so I didn't want to do anything major. This week I felt okay, so I thought I'd kind of put up a bit. I went for sets of 3 at 230 kilograms, 507 pounds. So the plan would have been 5 sets of 3. After the first couple, I realised that was unrealistic. I managed to get 4 in the end, which I'll take. And it was okay. The first set, you see, it moves. I'm really pleased. This first set moves really, really well. It's 507 pounds, which is for me, it's a relatively heavy weight, and it moved well. That triple felt good. I probably could have got that for like at least 5, I reckon. Then it kind of went downhill a bit. The second set was a bit more of a grind, and by the third set, the third rep of the third set was a massive, massive grind. So I realised that 4 was literally my limit, and even then, this 4th set was pretty ugly. I think I didn't quite finish the last rep of this set. You see there, the first set. When you're doing triple and the first rep moves like a grind, you are struggling. But yeah, you see here, this is the third rep of this set coming up, and I kind of get it almost all the way. Don't quite lock it out, but I'll take that as 4 sets of 3. It's a rep and set PR, and I felt good afterwards. No problems, so I'll take that. Also notice that my camera, for some reason, in this part of the gym, keeps like flicking from kind of dark to light. Like, it seems to, the auto, whatever that's called, like light setting seems to be struggling. I don't know if that is one of my rivals just kind of hiding behind the camera and kind of messing up deliberately. If it is, then A, they're very, very tiny and stick-like to be hiding behind my tripod, and B, that is quite a sneaky ploy, so I'd rather you stop that. That was some paused deficit work I did there. And then on to Friday. So another part of the week that I've changed is that I'm testing out not benching on the Thursday. So that's why there was no training on the Thursday. That would ordinarily be my rep bench session, but I decided to give that a miss to see how it works. So here is Friday session. And this was 3 sets of 10 at 165 kilograms, 364 pounds. This is nothing that I've incorporated into my sessions. Sets of 10. And it's good. I mean, it doesn't feel very nice at the time, like the gym. I said this before, this part of the gym is very hot, so doing sets of 10 is literally an absolute killer. But it is it's a different kind of uncomfortable. Like, I prefer, this is more of a just tiredness and, you know, kind of fatigue feeling, whereas normally I'm used to the feeling of just my back hurting and my organs feeling like they're going to explode when I'm doing those really heavy 5 sets of 5. So this is quite a nice change, to be fair. You don't have to get, you know, I'm not getting like mega psyched up. I'm just kind of just going through the motions, just getting it done, and it feels quite nice. So we'll see how this kind of works out in the long run, but I figure throwing these sessions in once a week will just give my CNS a bit of a chance to recover and hopefully allow the other heavier sessions to be a bit more effective. But like I said, we shall see. Yeah, so what I'll do here, this is obviously 3 sets of 10. I'll also maybe include like a 3 or 4 sets of 8 session, just give me some different options to have. But I just want a session that's basically lighter. No, basically the weight is lighter and it's far less CNS taxing than the heavy stuff that I'm used to. This is a improvement in terms of the weight from last week of this session, but yeah, still felt relatively comfortable, like as comfortable as sets of 10 is ever going to be. And then I finished the session with some pause squats, 145 kilograms, 320 pounds for 3 sets of 3 with some nice long pauses. And it felt good. What I'm doing from now on is I'm in my squat accessory work. I'm going to keep taking the belt off and taking my sleeves off, just to make sure my kind of, you know, my core strength and I don't want to become, obviously I'm going to always use those things when I compete, but I don't want to become completely reliant on them. I think it's good for your nervous system and your I don't know, like knees and just general joints and just kind of the structure of your body and stuff, just to get used to squatting and exercising without that stuff on, because otherwise you will become completely reliant on it. And then obviously that could lead to problems, I guess, in the future. And then here is Saturday session. Now, this is obviously bench presses, 5 sets of 3 at 142.5 kilograms, 314 pounds. But more significantly is also the session I did on the day of my 15,000 calorie challenge, which, if for some ridiculously bizarre reason you have not seen yet, obviously go and watch it now. I uploaded it on Sunday. It is by far the best video I've ever made, so go and watch it and show all your friends, family, like other distant relatives, ex-partners, animals, anyone you know. Anyway, so the significance of that being that obviously I was kind of, I don't know, the session was a bit of a non-event because I was pretty nervous and kind of distracted by the challenge. But actually, to be fair, it was pretty decent. I got all of the triples. I used a nice long pause. The second and third sets were a bit of a grind, so I was a bit concerned, but I managed to get all of them out in the end, which was pretty impressive. And this is the PR with a longer pause, so I will take that. And that, my friends, was my session, and that was my week. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe as always, and I will see you tomorrow.